Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people, wherever you're at. I'm JK Amazy, founder of Elevated Recovery, and with me is my boy Andrew. Andrew, how's it going?
Very well. Nice to be here.
Andrew, glad to have you, man. Andrew is our dating coach in the Dating Reboot program. Um, Very successful entrepreneur. That's the unique thing about Andrew. He does a whole bunch of things. Runs a music school, has a real estate investment business, has a short-term rental business, a whole, but just a killer in everything. And on top of that, he has a unique expertise with his social skills. I've worked with Andrew before, professional level. I've been out with him when it comes to helping high value men, especially those of you who are executives, entrepreneurs, very ambitious men with little time, make genuine, authentic connections with your ideal woman, and build up this skill of being social in your dating life and doing it with integrity. So today, I want to walk you through, Andrew actually is going to walk you through real quick, something very exciting that he's put together. We prioritize intimacy when it comes to dating, and we're going to be putting together a new program actually. We're going to be upgrading the Dating Reboot program to get you to a level of deep confidence and natural connection with women. So we weren't going to do this, but I was so excited when I saw it. I was like, Andrew, let's record it real quick. Andrew, why don't
Put
you
me on the
just
spot today, so I'm excited. I'm like, oh shoot, what
yeah,
did I
let's
write
do it,
down?
man. Yeah, well, tell us a little bit about the goals of the confidence and connection program, man.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for a while, and you start to see a pattern when you've been doing this long enough. And this is kind of the result of that. Like basically the closest that I can come up with of like the typical journey, and it's just like, and if you want to just devour all the content at once, I wouldn't recommend it. Take your time. But now it's there for you, and you can go at your own pace. You want to slow it down, speed it up. That's what I like about it. It's like a coach in a box. And a coach has done this a lot with a lot of guys who have come from nothing. I mean, zero, like intimacy, zero experience to like, holy cow, like maybe you should consider coaching now. And that's
Damn.
exciting to me. Yeah.
So
So,
this is basically taking the essence of everything you've been doing over the years, and you're basically breaking it down in a way that if guys didn't have access to a dating coach, like you can't like go out on the streets with your dating coach, you can go through this, and by following the exercises, if you actually follow them, of course, you'll be able to go out there. I can see some things on key milestones, like what you're
yep.
supposed to accomplish to move on to the next day. I love systems, man. Why don't you tell us about what's happening there in step one? Like what's going on
Yeah.
there?
So the key milestone is, like you said, to feel confident in who you are, have a clear vision for your relationship goals. And I think that's super important for men and for women. I mean, I unofficially coach my female friends in the same exact way. I always say, listen, you need to get a vision. You need to be listing out like what are you bringing to the table and what are you looking for? Start to match those. By the way, if you're looking for all of this and you're only bringing that, well, that's step one. We need to start working on you, which is built into this, right? Investing in yourself, improve your physical fitness, emotional resilience, social confidence. And what's great about that is what I do is I really make you get that core value right out the gate, get you really thinking about what it is that you want in a partner, not just physically, by the way. And that way, when you go out into the world, now you're automatically kind of screening and a little bit kind of propping yourself up as the prize and already in a subtle way frame flipping, which is one of the most powerful techniques when it comes to sales or to seduction. And then,
Dude,
of course,
don't give away too much. I just wanted to say that I'm already excited, dude, because your step one, the self-awareness and foundation building,
mhm,
is already what a lot of dating programs, that's the entire program. The entire program is somebody yapping about self-awareness. Like you're doing strengths and weaknesses. You're going with the guys through their past relationships. You're defining your core values, which enough guys just don't do. Just looking for an attractive woman.
nobody does it.
And the hard one, the emotional resilience, being able to handle rejection, outcome independence, social confidence. Bro, this is just the first one. This is step one. What's
Yep.
happening in step two with the social skills and confidence building?
So now that you've gone out, you've kind of gotten a little bit more social than usual, which is essentially, the tasks, the exercises have you do. You start to kind of soften up. You start to kind of realize, okay, the world is a friendly place. And now I'm pushing you even further. Just it's step by step. As a world-class coach, I'm telling you right now, the biggest mistake, and I've made it before, is to shove somebody into the deep end. They're going to drown. That's your dad's way. It's not the way that we're doing it. It's step by step, just inch by inch to get you a little more comfortable with yourself and with strangers, and of course, with attractive women. And so in that, I basically have you start to initiate conversation. We get into compliments. We start kind of approaching women and just in a very indirect way, low pressure. And that really helps you to see, wow, these beautiful women are also pretty cool. Like, because a lot of guys have this kind of messed up mindset, as I did as well, that, very attractive women were going to be just rude and, bitches. And most of them, some of them are, very few of them, but most of them are not. They're amazing. They're sweet. And you'll never know that unless you just challenge that old belief system. And that's kind of what step two starts to tiptoe.
Dude, that is so good, man. I love the idea. It sounds like you're talking about a lot of like exposure therapy. And I think a lot of the things that holds guys back, if you're watching this, guys, it's the idea of dating is so scary because you're like, I don't want to be on the apps, or I want to be on the apps and nothing's happening. Nobody's giving me the validation I need. And going out there, nobody wants to get shut down these days. And so I love the fact that you're telling guys the reality. The reality is, guys, if you've not been out there doing this, you do have to go slow. And it's okay. You have to go slow with like learning how to be social, but it looks like the key milestone is confidently engage with others in a natural and enjoyable way. Now, one thing I want to mention in our reboot programs is that everything is measurable. So if you're not ready to move on to the next step, one thing I can guarantee you is Andrew's going to call you out on that. He's
Out
just
of
like, dude,
love. Because I
yeah,
care.
out
It's
of
out of
love.
love. Because if I don't, she will. The world will. They're going to
Woo!
read
This
through
is
your
true.
bullshit.
Yeah, love it. Okay, what's
So,
happening in step three, man, with emotional
yeah.
intelligence and connection building? Yeah.
So step three, now we're building momentum. We're about halfway through. I'll just jump to the key milestone. I think that's actually a great way to kind of kick off the overall.
Okay, okay, cool.
But yeah, you start to develop, connections, and you really start to get a better EQ and start reading people a little bit, because now I'm having you actually approach people. I'm having you as a challenge try to extend the conversation. And so now you're naturally going to come off as a little weird sometimes because you're still new. You're still kind of learning, okay, are they like pretty much trying to like get me out of here, or are they interested in me? Like, and you're going to start to have that experience, and that's okay. By the way, I talk to people all the time. Some people don't want nothing to do with me, and that's okay. I read it quick, have a great day, and I move on. And that's what a master does, which is what, anyone who goes to this course will experience. Anyways, and then of course we get into, managing your emotions around that and being okay with not being liked by everybody. So now we're starting to get a little deeper in the weeds, and we're starting to get some depth, and we're starting to really feel out ourselves as a social person in the world.
So good. Guys, I also want to say that the emotional intelligence and connection building, I think a lot of guys feel that they have to build up an external skill set or to be charismatic or speak a certain way or look a certain way. But understand, gentlemen, that there's some deep work that sometimes needs to be done. I've often said as you do this sort of work, it's going to blow you up from the inside. But that's okay. This isn't about just dating. It's about you being able to connect with other human beings in an authentic way. And maybe there are some ways that you've been closed off. So this is really exciting, the emotional intelligence and connection building. What is dating with intention, which is like the fourth step?
Sure. So now you're kind of getting a sense of, all right, here's kind of overall the vibe I'm giving off. You got a better sense of kind of what it is you really like, and now you're getting more intent in your interactions. So obviously, jumping to the key milestone, you're attracting women, you're maintaining relationships, and these are people that are resonating with your values. So a value of mine is I like people, not just attractive women, but people with intellect. I like to go deep. I like to have conversations. I love it when I just, for instance, met a beautiful therapist, right? She's
Yeah.
stunning but has these interesting things and challenges me. And I'm like, yes, right? And men and women alike, that's my particular example. You're going to now start to already understand that. And now you're going to go deeper. And in the exercises, we really start to get you approaching women and actually going for it a little bit more with some just like, hey, what's going on? Offering your name, asking for a number. If you read the room and you sense that there's connection, right? Don't skip to this step, is what I'm saying. It's brick by brick. Making sense?
As I often say, thank you for sharing that, man. I often say work with your brain instead of against it. And working against your brain is what he said, the old school way of just go out there and fucking talk to her and be a fucking man. That is working against your brain and it's going to make you hate what you're doing and even hate yourself or worse, hate women. So I love the fact that it isn't until step four when a man already feels like, hey, I'm naturally ready to do this, that he jumps into this. And for those of you, when it comes to values, listen, we don't discriminate here. I don't care whether you are looking for a wife and you're saving it for marriage, you're looking for your forever partner. This is actually the perfect program for you, to be honest. Whether you're just looking to get into dating, whether you've been stuck in a rut, maybe you're one of these guys who's addicted to pornography or video games or something, and you're like, listen, I'm just ready to get out there and be the real me. I also don't care about your age. You could be 40, you could be 32. I don't care. This program is designed for you, and you get to set your values. Don't worry about other guys. If your value is I want a wife or a girlfriend, we will work with you to get there. And then we got, speaking of wives and girlfriend, we got relationship mastery and balance. What's happening there?
Yeah, so exactly. So basically, the official final step is you've really got a sense of the world as an overall friendly place. You've got a sense of the vibe you're giving off. It's probably improved, by the way. You're reading people, your EQ is developed. You're learning to go for it and be more authentic and just see if a girl aligns with your values. Now you're really getting to this healthy place. And step five, it's really nice to watch clients get here because then you're just like, oh man, all right, now it's about to get really good. Like you just hit a stride. And so what it is in the key milestone, we'll just get right to it, is you just confidently socialize. You date and you're dating girls that are up to your standards, right? Now you've put in the work. This takes a while, all right? And that is a place that I want to get everybody ultimately. That is a place of just things just seem to go well. You just seem to have it. And it takes time though. You've got to, learn how to communicate, be vulnerable. I really like that word vulnerability. That was a big hang up of mine early on in my like dating journey. I just was faking it a lot, and I learned that was something to just bring those walls down and be like, "Hey, I'm a little tired today, but like I'm excited to see you." Like just saying that, like it,
Yeah.
because she knows. And if you just come out with that and start with it, it's like, okay, cool. So I don't have to address that. So, anyways,
No.
you're dating, you're approaching, you're planning dates, you're listening, you're actually getting to know the person as a person, and it's now a whole different world for you compared to, I would say, 99% of men.
Dude, that's amazing. So I think that's the place where a lot of guys want to get to. They're just like, I want to know that. I remember for me, it was just like, if I could step out the door, if I wasn't in a relationship and just be able within a week to just have a woman in my life, for me, that was mastery. So this is so exciting because I'm always, I get what you say about watching the guys like define mastery for themselves. And they're just like, oh, now I'm a guy who can get the women I want in my life. And I have that intimacy and those great connections. So what happens after that? Well, obviously, it doesn't end there. I think a lot of guys kind of let this go. You don't want to go through that cycle again. What happens in step
So,
six?
yeah, so really it's step five. It's a five-step module in my brain, but I've done
Okay.
this enough myself as well as a student of, just dating. I've done this enough to where I've realized I've kind of backtracked and I
Mm,
need to maybe reassess and I need to get back into these steps. Because by the way, I've gone through these steps myself. I just didn't have them clearly defined. So reflection and continuous growth. The milestone is, of course, just to maintain confidence, clarity in your dating journey, but always being aware that you're still just a student, as am I. Like, even at the level I've achieved, I definitely always try to keep that mindset. And so, whenever I get a little bit in my head or mess up or get insecure, as we all do, I need to start to understand that's normal and reflect on that, accept that, and look at how I can grow and evolve with that experience. And oftentimes at this stage, where guys will start to kind of revision what it is that their initial goal was, or what they wanted, or what their values were. Maybe you need to tweak some things. Now you've got some experience. Actually, no, I really don't want the super hot girl who is, has no brains and nothing to say. Maybe I'm kind of over that, right? Now it's time to reassess, maybe go back through the modules, dare I say, and just start to get back into the core of who it is that you are. And who you are is always evolving, which is why there's step 6.
Dude, that is so good. I'm one of the things I really appreciate about this is that I don't think enough guys have one system that they can use for one area of their life. I think it's important to just have I think this is what, and I know you put a lot of work into this. This is something you've created that guys can do in a cycle. They can go through it. And gentlemen, just so you'll know, you can do this self-paced from the privacy of your home if you're not feeling like going out, if you're in a weird place in your relationship, if you've just left a relationship. Or there's also the option to do it directly with Andrew week to week. You can do it one-on-one, or you can do it with a group of guys who are going through this. So you can even have accountability partners at different stages of this. But this is your last stop when it comes to your dating life. Something that covers everything. And this last piece at the end, dude, it's brilliant. I don't think guys get it, that it doesn't just end with picking up the skill sets. You're a human being. Your self image is changing. Your values are changing. Your net worth is changing. You go from dating beautiful women to wanting to be in a relationship to realizing you're not ready to having kids to getting married. And at each point, men keep that same mindset. Then they end up like hitting me or you up and going like, hey, man, I don't know, it's been 2 years in this relationship. Do I still want to be with this woman? Or, bro, I've hit my income goals. I'm making this amount each month. But why is it that I want to, there's this novelty thing in my head where I want a more attractive woman? All of these things, you're the best expert at yourself, are going to be fixed within a program like this.
Guaranteed.
And man, I
If you
really
put in the
appreciate.
work.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate you really putting this together. I won't take up any much of your time, but I want to let you guys know that, again, if you are a person who is ready to prioritize dating in your life, and I just want to put a little caveat there. Many guys say they are ready to prioritize dating, but then they use their finances as an excuse not to do so. Like, hey man, you have the money, but you're just like, the rejection is a lot, it's a lot of work. And deep down, you think that by making more money, you're going to feel confident enough to do any of the things in here. Andrew and I will tell you.
Doesn't work
Want
that
to
way.
tell him, Andrew? Doesn't matter how much money. If you're waiting for it to get rich to do it, what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's going to happen. I'm so sorry. I'll tell you right now, as a man who's out in the world all the time and making money, telling you guys you're overestimating that. Yes, it'll give you some status, but a lot of guys get it in their head that like, oh, now I'm entitled to this. And it actually hurts them and it actually lowers them. And now we got to really start because now you've got an ego and now you're even more of a challenge. So get this down first. Make this a priority. This is the most important decision you'll ever make, especially when it comes to building something of like maybe some net worth. Who you choose as a partner, right? That's key, key, key. I do not want men to be a statistic. I don't want them to be over 40 and divorced and miserable and broke because they
There's the
chose the
man.
wrong girl, right?
Listen, guys, here's the deal, okay? You can do this self-paced, you can do this one-on-one with Andrew, or you can do this with a group of other ambitious men. Now, there is a price to it. Don't worry about it. All you need to do is you need to just click on the link that's attached to this video, whether it's on top or below it. I say don't worry about the price because if you've watched at this point, brother, you've already paid the price. You've paid the price in years of lost intimacy. You've paid the price in viewing pornography instead of meeting a woman. Some of you are getting attached to OnlyFans. All that time you're wasting in the evenings on your own, feeling lonely. This is the price you are paying already. Okay, so don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. We'll work with you on making it affordable. I've actually made it very affordable. All you need to do is click on the link. We'll see you on the other side. And the final thing is, Andrew can only work with a very few number of people because he does run another business. We want to be transparent about this. We're not like
Yeah.
dating gurus, any of that shit. We're just like Andrew's just a successful guy who is extremely good at this, and he had to build an efficient, healthy system for himself. It's very rare that you find guys who don't need this for money. We were just talking about it. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
we're not
Eventually
even
over
gonna be.
time, and maybe in the future, but right now it's limited.
Yeah.
But I'd be excited to work with anybody who's really committed to doing the work. Period.
Yeah, it's likely not a profitable thing for us. So all that means is we're putting a certain amount of time into it. Andrew is going all in, and there's only a certain number of people that we can work with. So please don't procrastinate on it. We love and appreciate you guys, and I'll be popping into some of the sessions just to watch because I just love Andrew's a master, and sometimes I just want to pop in for 30 minutes and go like, oh my god, like it's so
Always
good.
nice to
It's so
have you,
good.
man. I love it.
All right, guys, we'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, guys.